It's time for the first Coach Abbs show of 2019. Coach, how are you?
I'm great. Ready to get started.
Are we ready for some football yet?
Absolutely. Guys, we're working really hard. It's time to get started.
Now, since Andrew Luck retired,
Right.
have you converted Coach Land to a Browns fan?
I've tried. Being a Browns fan and having gone through what I've had to go through since my childhood in the Bernie Kosar era, I have tried to convert some guys, but it's been met with some slight resistance, to say the least.
I just talked to him about becoming a Lions fan, and that was a flat no. He said he'd consider the Browns, but the Lions are out. So
That's understood.
You got a good chance. Preseason rankings have just been posted. I don't know what you can possibly read into this. Trine was tied for second with Albion. I think Hope was given the most votes for the preseason ranking. Do you look at that at all, or does that not matter at all?
We haven't talked about it. Everybody knows what it is. Whenever you graduate, the nation's leading rusher in all divisions, an All-American corner, and our all-time leading receiver, people are going to look at our roster and say, well, it's a rebuilding year, but we don't look at it that way at all.
Right.
So we don't. It's great for the media. It's great for newspapers. It's great for people to talk about football and to get some football conversations going. But for the most part, really, we don't acknowledge it at all.
You mentioned Lamar Carswell, all-time leading rusher,
Right.
One of the top running backs in the country last year. So that is a natural starting point as you start this next season. How's the team going to look different without Carswell in the backfield?
Well, we'll be a lot more diverse.
Okay.
We'll spread the ball around a lot more. We'll throw the ball more. Our running game will include the quarterback a lot more. We've got a good group of young running backs, some guys that maybe played defense last year, and because of a lack of depth at running back, moved over to offense. A lot of different things, but we've got a little bit of mix in our backfield. We've got some smaller, faster guys, and we've got some big, strong guys, and we've got some that are a little bit of both.
Marcus Winters, All-American. As you mentioned, he also was a punt returner. I mean, he was a big guy for you in two of the three phases. Looking at the defensive side of the ball, without Marcus in there, obviously you shuttle some new guys in. How is it looking so far in that transition?
Well, we've had a lot of young guys. Again, we've had Aaron Dean made the transformation from a wide receiver to a corner, was an all-state defensive back in high school at Eastside, and but really focused on offense last year. This year, we asked him to make the move to cornerback, and he very selflessly made that change and has been outstanding. But anytime you lose a player like Marcus, Marcus started. He started 43 games. He's a two-time All-American. We haven't had too many of those. And he, graduated being the NCAA's active interception leader at any level. So special player, we're definitely going to miss him. We won't be able to isolate people one-on-one into the short side of the field as much as we have in the past.
Be able to watch him play basketball for another season.
That's exactly right. We're excited to hear that he's coming back. And, anytime you can establish yourself as a two-time football defensive player of the year and then come back and back that up after your football career with a basketball defensive player of the year, you're a special athlete.
Noah Routson is back, though, and
Yes.
He was an all-league player on your offensive line. Talk about your front guys with that offense, kind of anchored by Routson.
We lost a really good player in Andrew Hagar from Fairfield High School. He was our leader last year. But I'm glad you brought up Noah because Noah has taken over and really flourished, been elected as a team captain, and done phenomenal with that room. We lost one starter, but because of injuries and competition last year, we started 7 different guys. So we will have guys playing that have already played varsity minutes, and that's huge. That playing time, that experience coming back on the offensive line is vital. And it's an offensive line that just blocked for the nation's leading rusher.
That's right.
They're a special group, and we're excited to see how we can run the ball on Thursday night.
Talk about your quarterback battle.
Quarterback battle is wide open. Right now we have 4 guys that are really battling. Brandon Winters, last year's starter towards the end of the year, who split time with Andrew Duckett, is probably eking his way towards the top, but then every once in a while Brent Hayes, Jake Hill, or Dylan Barron pull ahead of him. It's been it's been something out of the ordinary, something that we've never seen here at Trine, where we have literally 4 guys battling for the job, and then also some young freshmen that are right there that have amazing talent that are learning. You know, not that many guys get a chance to start at quarterback as freshmen. We've got a special guy with a trophy in the front of our stadium named Eric Watt that didn't get a chance to start until, I believe, game 4 or 5 of his freshman year. So it's one of those things where we've had tons and tons of competition. All of them are extremely mobile. All of them throw the ball well, and all of them, most importantly, are loved by their teammates. I think that's a huge thing when it comes to quarterback play.
Coach Abbs, you recently returned to East Noble High School, where you addressed the student body there. That's where you went to high school.
Right.
What message did you have for the students there, and what was that like going back to your high school?
It's just a lot of fun. It's one of those things where anytime you get a chance to go home during your busy life, I have a wonderful wife and 3 children, so they're all summer was spent at the softball diamond, baseball diamond, and traveling all over the place. So anytime you can go back and address people from your hometown and just talk about success and how to live life the right way, it's a lot of fun.
You selected captains, and you mentioned the fact that Noah was one of those captains. You have Jacob Chesney, Simeon Washington, Mason McFarland. How do you select captains? Is that a situation where the players pick? Do the coaches pick?
Yes.
And what does it mean to be a captain for the Trine University football team?
Well, it's something that's earned. It's something that we do have our players vote on our captains, and this year we went straight from our vote to select our captains. We've got a special group of guys that have gotten out of their comfort zone and led. And that's difficult to do. I think one of the things that this generation of student athletes struggles with is taking a chance to be unpopular,
right?
To rocking the boat. We growing up, that's all we did, right? We rocked the boat with our friends, but the kids don't like to rock the boat. They don't like to upset anybody, and they've done a good job of doing that when they need to, or gently correcting somebody when they need it. They've done an outstanding job of leading by example and by being vocal, and I think it's really going to help us have success this year.
I think you guys got off to a great start. When I saw one of your first tweets when the players were showing up, one of your kickers showed up with the kicking coach's face on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. Is that a first for you?
That is a first. Ryan Hibbett is definitely a free spirit. Ryan handles all of our long field goals and all of our kickoffs. I actually had 7 touchbacks in the game last year for a school record in one of our games. But he's a talented kid. He loves Coach Wall, who is our punters, kickers coach, and as well as our middle linebacker coach. And he's old school. He's coached a while. I believe this is his 50th year of coaching college football, and before that he coached high school. And he's from the old school, and the kids love him. And I think that's the ultimate show of respect when your kicker shows up with his coach's picture on the front of his T-shirt. So
I love it. I thought that was great. Everybody knows that we're getting beautiful new turf at the stadium. Can you give us an update on that project?
Yeah, it's well on its way. We've practiced on the 2 grass practice fields behind the Athletic and Recreation Center for the past couple of weeks, which is great because our first game here against Manchester is on grass. So it's been outstanding. Our grass practice fields are in immaculate condition. Our campus ops operations department did an amazing job of making sure that those fields were in game field-like conditions, that we had proper lifts to film from, and everything from a scoreboard out there to, it's like going to an NFL training camp. Things that we do here at Trine, we do in a first-rate manner, and they really stepped up to meet that. There was a delay in installing our turf. Won't go into that, but it's not that big of a deal. Our theme for the year is to be tough.
That's right.
And that's what we're going to be.
A couple of my students have questions for Coach Abbs, and he has kindly agreed to take on any questions. So these are from some of my students. The first one is from Micah Hauser, who is a comm major here at Trine. She asks, Coach Abbs, you've been coaching for many years. How do you relate to today's players, and has that changed over your career?
I think one of the neatest things about coaching college football is that the kids really haven't changed since I started coaching. I started coaching here in, 2006. And the kids really haven't changed that much. And all I do for a living is hang out with the 18 to 22-year-olds. Right. So I think I am. Until I get home and my wife reminds me that I am no longer 18 to 22. Right. So I think as coaches, we're around the guys so much, we don't see a difference. One thing that I think this generation demands is they want to know the why behind everything. But I think if you're a great teacher and you're a great coach, you've always taught that. You need to do this because of this. And we ask football players to do some amazing, unselfish things that people wouldn't do in real life. Right. You know what I mean? Right. For the betterment of the team, and they'll do it if they understand why. I think great teaching involves the why, and we try to really, involve the why in what we teach.
Okay, one other student question from Chantel Asher. Do you feel extra pressure trying to remain undefeated for a third regular season, and do the players feel this extra pressure?
I think that my grandmother passed away a few years ago, right before the Manchester game, and she had a quote that she always liked to say, and it was that pressure was self-inflicted. The only person that ever puts pressure on anybody is oneself. So, I think that kind of helps if there is any pressure, but really, we take it one day at a time. We have a way of preparing for games that hasn't changed all that much since 2006 when we came here. We have a way of doing everything. We have a formula for success, and I think by sticking to that formula and tweaking it here and there, that alleviates pressure because you're doing the right thing. You're calling the right plays. And as long as we do our job as coaches in January, February, and March in the peak recruiting season for Division III, everything's going to be fine. Because I haven't blocked, tackled, caught a pass for a long, long time, thank goodness, all right? And my wife would tell you the same thing, I'm not 18 to 22. But, bottom line, players make plays.
Last year, Manchester, a walkover, 55-7, first game of the season. Obviously, your team looks different. So does theirs. Right. Going into your matchup with Manchester this year, 7:30 Thursday night. What are some keys in that matchup that you'll be looking out for and that the fans should know about?
Well, I think our theme for the year, like I said, has been being tough, being thunder tough, and I think the toughest team is going to win. There's no doubt they want to run the ball. They've got a really talented running back, and they've got some talented receivers that they're going to play action and try to throw the ball up to. So do we. So really, the key to the game is who plays with toughness for the longest, who can control the line of scrimmage in the third and fourth quarter. Who can withstand the momentum shifts, and quite frankly, who can take care of the ball. Right. Turnovers are a vital part of every game, and we've got to make sure that we're taking care of the ball, and we've got to make sure on defense that we're creating turnovers. When we play that brand of football, when we play physical, tough, intense football with amazing effort, and we create turnovers and take care of the ball, we win.
You have a couple more practices before Thursday night's game.
Right.
Is there a little pep in the step with the guys now, knowing that it's game time coming real soon?
I think there is. I think a lot of the guys have worked a long time for this. Yeah. We have guys that'll be first-time starters that have worked, 1, 2, some 3 years to get this opportunity to play because they were playing behind a Marcus Winters, or because they were playing behind, Lamar Carswell, or they were playing behind Jeffrey Barnett, or, geez, you keep on going, a lot of great players. But the bottom line is that they're prepared. They've worked, they've earned it, and it's their turn to go out in the lights and shine.
Trine gets underway with the 2019 football season Thursday night at 7:30 at Manchester. Coach Abbs, good luck.
Thanks a lot.